Yeah. Y'all know who it is. Guess who's back? Man, oh man. And it's an honor and a privilege to introduce my special guest today. Now, I'm going to say this. When I first started my journey with music, revisited, I was on IG, just trying to get myself out there, just trying to be seen. And man, my bro here, he saw me, reached out to me, and it's been history ever since. Man, I appreciate you, bro. The one, the only, ladies and gentlemen, Looch Vegas.
What up,
What's happening, my bro? What's happening?
man? Same old thing, different day. But yo, I just want to tell you, man. As far as what you were saying, I spotted you for sure, man. I'm out there scouring Instagram. You know how we all do, looking for
Mm-hmm,
followers, just seeing what's out there. I
mm-hmm,
was telling you yesterday, man. I saw your stuff and I said, "Wow, this guy stuff is clean. Music's clean. Videos are clean." Had to bring you aboard, man, and just start linking and basically, bro, when I saw your show the first time, man, I had a vision. I saw myself. I saw this. I saw what's happening right now. I saw
mm-hmm,
us just politicking and going back and forth because I know the love for hip hop is genuine. And
mm-hmm.
I definitely love what you do. Definitely love what
Thank
you
you,
do here.
thank you. I got a couple people in the building. I'm gonna shout them out real quick. BOA, what's happening? What's happening? Bazel, Dame, what up, bro? What's happening, bro? How you enjoying that vacation, my guy? Man, oh man. Rodney, yo, Jose, what's happening? Jay, I
Thanks for
appreciate the
checking
love,
in.
man. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yolanda B. Much love, sis. Much love. Man, oh man. Before I go in, let me do this shameless plug, right? You need beats? Dame got beats, man. There's his information below. He do everything of mine. You want to see our calling card? Check me on IG. Check me on TikTok. Check me on SoundCloud. All of that is Dame's work. So you need anything, you holler at your boy.
That beat, that intro, that's him on that intro, right?
Absolutely,
Very,
absolutely. And I'm glad you brought
very.
that up, man, because me and Amaj, we gonna get together and we gonna build on the putting out music for content creators. You know what I
Nice,
mean? That's the
nice.
play. That's the play.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, without further ado, man, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us where you from.
Looch Vegas, originally from Stamford, Connecticut, 203. Shout out to all my people back there. Obviously, with the name Looch Vegas, I'm out in Vegas now. I've been here about 10 years. Grew up in Connecticut, like I said, very close to that, where it all began. You know what I mean? In that Bronx, New York scene, about 20 minutes away. And, you know, all I could say is can't even remember when it all began, but I'd say, wish I could remember the first record I heard. I
Hmm.
think I try to remember sometimes what was the first rap song I heard, and I can't say it, but I know Run DMC, of course, very very influential. I remember seeing Run on that stage. Whose house?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was just so powerful the way he just walked on that stage and just took over everything, and I felt that energy, man. Like I just knew that was something I wanted to do. Just that
Hmm.
vibe, that whole thing.
Yes.
And
Yes.
but I'm kind of sidetracking, man. I'm a dude that made music many years ago. I was a rapper, uh,
Hmm.
rapping since a very young age, and did that for many years. You know, life came up. Working, kind of drifted away from music a bit. But I'm
Hmm.
back. I'm here now. I'm back. I'm all in on this game now. I'm never turning back. It's music. It's music full throttle from here on, man.
Hmm.
You know?
Hey, you know, Looch, I hate to put you on the spot, man. When you told me you rhymed yesterday, man, I was blown by that, man. You know, I got plenty of things on ice, man. I'm gonna talk to Dame.
Oh, word.
Dame
Okay, okay,
Way. You know what I mean? Drop a
okay.
black with a 16. You know.
Literally, my stuff is on ice for real. It's pretty old. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little older now. My stuff's a little
Mm-hmm.
dated. I'm not going to be the first to. I'm not going to lie. It's a little dated, but when I pick up the pen now, I wrote a little something. I got my "That's Lucci" single.
Okay.
Little bit of
Okay.
a little bit of something. You know what I mean? But I'm starting to heat up that pen a little bit. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little different though. When you get older, you're not out in the streets the same. You know what I mean? You used to be out there. You got that energy. You're going out. You're doing this and that. Well, you know, sometimes it's like, what am I going to rap about right now? You know what I mean? About my house, or, you know,
Yeah. And,
about my couch.
and you know, I feel you with that because that's the same with me, man. I'm like, man, I can't rap about like yourself being in them streets because I'm not. You
Right,
know what I
right,
mean? So, you know, I just rap about life. You know what I
right,
mean?
right, right.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, bro, what and who? I guess we kind of touched on this. Inspires you to do music.
You know, man, I would have to say Big Daddy Kane, man. I'm an
Mm,
old head. I'm gonna go all the way back to Big Daddy Kane.
mm,
In my opinion, that's when rap elevated. He took
facts.
rap to that next level.
Hmm.
Rap was, you know, a lot of what people would call the 80s, you know, the a lot of that. Big
Hmm.
Daddy came in, ain't no half stepping. Changed,
Yeah.
just changed the whole thing. Smooth
Hmm.
chicks. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I
Lyrics.
do. Yeah.
Lyrics.
Yeah.
I mean, underrated lyrics.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
come get some, you little bum. I take the
Mm,
cake, but you can't get a crumb. You know,
right.
all
Right.
that, man. That was powerful to me. Cool G Rap came
Yes.
on the scene, just spitting lyrics. The man had a
Hmm.
list, but nobody cared because the lyrics were there. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Facts.
And,
Facts.
just that I'm just a hip hop fan, man. I loved it all. Public Enemy was
Mm,
huge. The
mm,
energy,
yes.
the whole vibe of the whole thing. Special Ed. I was a
Hmm.
big Special Ed fan. I was a
Oh
huge
yeah.
special. People used to tell me I like him too much. You know? You like Ed a little too much. I'm like, dude's nice, but yeah, man, I'm a lover of it all. But I would have to say Big Daddy Kane, man. I always go back
Mm,
to him, man. The whole aura. I'm
mm.
sure you remember the Stop the Violence video, man. Just the fact
Oh,
that
no doubt.
he wasn't allowed to be on that video. The label blocked him from. He wasn't allowed to be on the song. The label
Hmm.
blocked him, but he had that little
Hmm.
appearance on the video, and just seeing him in that video because everybody was in that song. You know how
Right.
everybody
Right.
made their appearance. KRS. Well, I'm gonna take these off. It's a little warm in
Hmm.
the studio. I'm fogging up over here, but
Gosh.
just Kane making that little appearance in that video, man, just showing his face. He's still. It was like he was that man. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Always
Hey,
felt
Luch,
that way.
when I first heard Ain't No Half Stepping, man, I knew he was on the other level. You know,
You
because
know?
I'm not shooting holes in hip hop before him, but it was a lot of shouting going on. And
Oh,
it's
no
like he
doubt, no doubt.
spoke to us. You know what I mean?
Oh, for real. He changed the game. He really changed the game.
Yeah.
He broke
Yeah.
it. He brought it to a whole other level, man. Like you were saying, a good word is, yeah. I would have never called it shouting, but that's a good way to say it. There was just a lot more of that rhythmic. We had the Fat Boys. Yeah, I mean, I was young, so I got down with the Fat Boys and stuff. But none of that plays now. You know what I mean? You
Right.
can't play that now, but you could
Right.
play "Ain't No Half Stepping" right
Facts.
now, right
Facts.
now, and
Facts.
I do. you know.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. All right. How long have you been doing music?
I touched on it earlier. I started as a teen. I remember I was sitting in the back seat of my parents' car one day. They're driving, we were going wherever we were going, and it just hit me. I said, "Man, you know this music in and out, and you love it so much. Why not just do it yourself?" And I remember I went in my backpack, grabbed a notebook, and just started just writing a little, whatever I
Mm,
could, just trying to figure it out. And I
hmm.
remember probably 4 days later, 5 days later, I go up to one of my boys in class after class with, "Hey, check this out." And I remember I said something. I said some line about I'm like a combination of Freddie and Jason. And I remember
Mm.
his eyes bugged out, like his eyes went like, ooh, and it hit me. And then I finished it. And when I was done, he was like, yo, when you said that, I'm like a combination of Freddie and Jason. I was like, damn.
Mm.
And once that's all I needed to hear, man. And that was it. The next thing you know, I'm writing every day because to get that feedback, that response from people, that was always my thing. Like my thing was always every rap you ever write, you got to end that those last two lines got to be killer. Those got to be those ones that make the crowd just go, oh, and everybody go run around, oh, and you just ended that man right there. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So that's that feeling that just took me over, man. And I did that shit hard for like 10 years, man. 10 years. I almost got signed. I was really doing my thing for a while, man. But so I mean, we could write a book about the whole story, why things didn't happen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that's life sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's what got me started. I'll never forget. I'll never forget sitting in the back seat of my parents' car and just having that thought, why not you?
Mm.
Why don't you just do it?
How
And that was
about
it,
that?
man. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
When I was listening to you, I was thinking back, like, dang, I really started dabbling when Slick Rick came out with Lottie
Ooh,
Dottie, right?
I
So
can't
I
believe
had
I
a
didn't.
Lottie Dottie, right?
Oof.
You know what I mean? But I was doing it quietly. I didn't tell any of my homeboys, right? So I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
on the low, just in the basement,
yeah.
just crafting stuff, right? So
Uh-huh.
it was this dude around my way, man, called Kenny K. And I ain't gonna lie, I was hating on him back then. So he would say his rhymes or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he would break it down and he would say, like, we would have a crowd, the whole hood outside. And
Right.
he would say something like, who am I? And everybody would say, Kenny K. And I'm like, man, look at
Okay.
this dude,
Okay.
man.
Okay. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know. So one day, I'm in the house with my homeboy. Shout out to Blackface if he listening, right? And he was like, bro, he knew I could rhyme because I would say the little dirty rhymes to him and we would laugh and joke about it, right? He was like, yo, you should go out there and battle. I'm like, man, I ain't, the whole neighborhood like this dude. So I got up the courage, man. So I said, look, I'm going to write this rhyme. I don't remember it. That's how old I am. And
Hmm.
I just literally stayed up all night. And I'm like, I'm going to memorize it. When I go out here, I know he going to come with the who am I, Kenny K. And as soon as they say something, I had something relating to them
You
saying
had
that.
some, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
man.
And I went in on them and everybody loved it. But the crazy thing is, I had nothing else to say. I just
Right,
had
right, right. You had
that
that. You
one
had that.
verse, right? So
Yeah.
he tore me up after that, you know.
Oh,
But
okay, okay.
yeah, because he came, he had lyrics at
He
the
had
lyrics.
artillery. Yeah,
He had
he was.
artillery. So that was a mental note. But yeah, man, shout out to Kenny K if he's still out there. But man, I used to hate
You'll
when
never forget
everybody said
moments
that.
like that, man. That's
Yeah.
funny. That's
The
too
whole
funny, man.
neighborhood. Yeah, he would be like, who am I? And everybody say the girls, the guys. I'm like, man, this dude crazy.
That's dope,
Yeah.
though. That's dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't
All
believe I
right.
didn't mention Slick Rick, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey,
Man.
real quick, I'm sorry to sidetrack this, but I wanted to bring it. So just talking about you rhyming, your style, man, is very, very authentic. I know you definitely got your own style, man. Very, very much enjoy it. It's very different. I'd like to hear a whole. I've heard you do a lot of your what are they called? Promos. I've
Mm-hmm.
heard you quick hitter promos. You know what I mean? I heard you on them. I'd really
Mm-hmm.
like to hear a full track of yours, man. But I'm not trying to put you on any spot either, But
Gotcha.
we'll chop it
Gotcha.
up about that someday. Because yeah, your style is very authentic. I like it, man. I dig it for sure.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt, man. You know I got that EP, Baltimore to ATL on Apple
Okay,
and
okay.
Spotify. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay,
when you
okay.
get a chance, check that out. But funny thing about all of this, right? Like I was telling you yesterday, I was in this group called Black Tongue. And back then, man, the guy that put me down, he was the guy of the group. Everybody loved him. He had this energy about him, more of this DMX style. And me, man, I took more to like a Jizza or Nas, you know what I mean? I was heavy into like um deep thought rapping and you know, saying some stuff where eventually you walk away and you re-listen to it and you like, dang, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But they weren't feeling that. And then,
Mm,
you know, I had a young family. So I wasn't in the streets, but I knew about the streets. I could have talked about that. But I'm
right.
like, man, I got young sons. Is this what I want to portray to them? So I would
Hmm.
talk about the streets in a creative way. Stuff that maybe I've done, but from a teachable moment standpoint.
Right.
But long story longer, they weren't really feeling where I was going with it too deep or what I was saying the most or whatever. So when I finally revisited this, you know, with Dane, you know, Dane was like, man, I know you always had it in you. You know, maybe the play with you is you diversify yourself and always flip the beat and always rhyming something different. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Because I'm more comfortable in a boom bap realm, you know,
Right.
those type of beats.
Right.
But you know, I've been broadening my horizons with what I've been doing. So Baltimore to ATL, that whole project is something you wouldn't have heard from me eons ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
And that's what's beautiful
yeah,
with this thing, because it's one of the main reasons why I came back in this thing, man. As we get older, I mean, everybody talks about how you can't get the knowledge that you get with age through
mm,
anything but living, but living
right,
life experiences. You know what I mean? The
mm,
ups, the downs, everything that comes with it, and all of that builds in you. You know what I mean? And I said to myself, I gotta put this all out in music. That's what I used to do. It used to come out in music,
mm,
and I didn't have that anymore. And I just said, Man, this is the best time to do it. I'm smarter than I've ever been. I feel stronger mentally than I've ever
mm,
been in my life, without a doubt. I'm past
mm,
any kind of anything. You know, when you have times in your life where you're either conflicted about this or that. I'm in a good place right now, man. I'm in a place where I'm ready to create something. And when I come in making music now, I'm almost seeing it. I used to see it like I used to listen to other people's stuff and
mm,
not try to copy it, but get inspired from it and stuff like that. I'm at the point now where I'm almost just I feel like an artist. I feel like I got a blank canvas in front of me and I just got some paintbrushes and where are we going with this today? You know what I mean? It's a beautiful feeling, man. As you get older and do this now, how you get to,
absolutely,
like you're saying, branch out. Let me try something else. It's not just stay in that comfort zone. Why do that? You know what I mean?
right,
Why even do that? That's
right,
not what it's about. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. So before we get into this, right,
Hmm,
I want to play this joint you sent me, man. I've been
okay.
playing it over and over again. Actually, to be honest, it got me through work today.
Okay.
I'm gonna play
Okay.
this joint, and then we could talk about, you know, how you made it, you know, what inspired you, you know, do you do samples or your original dude guy with the music portion? But we're gonna play this and let them hear. All right,
Let's go.
you ready?
Yes, sir. It might can go up a little louder if you're
Gotcha.
able to. Yep, yep. Looch Vegas production.
I love that joint.
It's
You
just a
know
little
what I
something,
mean?
something, a little
It's
something
it's
from last.
it's 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 amazing, bro. It's amazing.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
and
I
for
appreciate
y'all out there, man, follow my man Looch, man. This is just a snippet of what he could do. Man,
it.
I'm trying to tell y'all. But the stage, the floor is
Thank you very
yours,
much.
Looch. Yeah, yeah.
So that joint right there. So I'll use samples. I'll use samples all day. That one you played right there had none of them. That was all from
Mm,
scratch. Every single
mm,
piece of that was just on the keyboard, and you could check my stories if you don't believe me. You'll see me play every element of that joint basically. So right on my stories. But I have no problem using samples. That's where I started. That's where I began. That's what I felt was my strongest coming
mm.
into this thing. But the more I keep touching this keyboard over here, I realize I don't really even need to do that. You know what I mean? But
Right.
sometimes it's like I said that. So back in the days, I rapped, like I said, but I used to
Mhm.
have to make something to rap too. You know, we used to have to do things back then. We would have to just we couldn't just call. So you couldn't go on. No, there wasn't an internet.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I mean? You couldn't go on the internet and get yourself a beat. You
Mhm.
might have an instrumental on a record. Maybe
Mhm.
if you bought the single, you might have an instrumental on side B, but we used to have to do things. So I had me and my boy, we had a bunch of 70s records. We used to do things, you know what I mean? Find ways. I had a sampler, chop things up, do it whatever we could to make a little beat. So that's how and every song I ever heard, that's all it ever was samples. So I'm never gonna hate on samples, man. I mean, you want to flip a sample. My whole opinion is, I'll. You don't even have to flip a sample. It's how you. What are you blending? What samples are
Mm.
you blending together? I mean, what are you choosing? That's
Right.
that's really the whole thing about it. I'll find a sample. I'll go, oh my god, that's ridiculous. It might be 4 bars or something. I'll end up taking one a quarter of a bar and reverse it. Now, how
Mm.
is that a sample? At that
About that.
point, was it even a sample? No, it's not even a sample no more. It's you turned it into something. So it's whatever you want to do, man. I watched Diddy make a fortune, not even sampling, just playing the record.
Hmm.
Play
About
hit
that.
play the record,
Mhm.
rap on
Yes.
it. So
About that.
it's music, man. It's whatever you want to do. And I'm never gonna hate on some I'll I got things to say about a lot of things that I'll hate on, but it ain't
Mhm.
never gonna be about that. It's gonna be more about weirdos, you know what I mean? Shit like
Right.
that. But yeah, I mean, this is music, man. This is art. Like I said earlier, man. It's like I come into it feeling like I'm painting something, and that's whatever you want to paint. If you want to paint like Bob Ross, or if you want to paint like you know, Basquiat or whatever, you know what I mean? That's
Right.
you. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
How about
Yeah.
you? I'm curious about how you feel about that.
I like yourself, man. I love the samples. Because I love to see how they flip 'em. I mean, hey, Premier.
Hmm.
I mean, do I need to go any further? I mean, you know what I mean?
Can I interrupt
I
you for
actually.
a second because you just
Mhm.
said that, man? Because this is something I do feel I'm confused about. I'm kind of confused about this, and maybe you could clear it up.
Mhm.
So when I was growing up through this whole thing, it was a primo beat. You
Mhm.
heard a beat. Oh, that sounds like a primo beat. Oh,
Mhm.
that sounds like a Dre beat, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
When did this change to being the rapper's beat? When did this
Mm.
change to this is a Lil Wayne type of beat? Lil Wayne never made a
Mm.
beat.
Mm.
He never
Mm.
made a beat. He don't even walk in the studio saying, "I want a beat that goes like this."
Right.
So
Right.
why did producers give that away? That's something that drives me crazy, man. You gave away your whole talent, and the rapper already was getting all the credit. He
Mhm.
already got all because he should. He should. He's the entertainer. He's the one on stage. He's the one the ladies love. You know what I mean? That's how that goes. That's fine. But
Mhm.
why would a producer that's already getting less credit than
Mm.
due and always dealing with the money aspect side of things, had to put out the money for the studio, people don't want to pay. Why would you then go and start saying this is a so and so, not saying this is a Looch Vegas type of beat?
Mm.
I don't get that, man. I just don't understand. I don't know when it even I just kind of woke up one day and looked and all of a sudden it changed. And I was like, when did that change? It used to be a primo beat. It
Right.
used to be
Right.
a Diddy. You know what I mean?
Right.
It used to be like that.
Yes.
Like I don't know. That's I go on rants sometimes, man. But what do you think about that, man? Did it even ever bother you? Did you never even really Think about that.
Unconsciously, I've heard that as well. And now that you're bringing it to light, man, I'm tripping off of it myself. You know what I mean? I guess nowadays, well, I guess maybe Kanye kept it alive a little bit in the beginning. Him and Just Blaze, but right after that, I think it went left, like you said.
Mm,
Maybe what? Kanye, Timbaland, Just Blaze, Pharrell, and then it went left.
yeah,
And I don't know
yeah,
why. Hey, maybe for some reason, like you said, the rappers became bigger than the man behind the music.
yeah. I
But
think it's just like social media. Somebody just started saying it, and then it just like everything else on social media, everybody just follows what the leader did, and it just changed. I mean, I guess I was about to say, I guess it's not the biggest deal in the world, but what am I talking about? No, it is a pretty big deal, actually. That's why I'm talking
absolutely,
about it.
absolutely,
You know,
right, no doubt.
I
Because to
by
me,
that.
I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad.
No, no, and I was just gonna say, if you're a producer friend of mine and you do that, I mean, I'm not hating on you. I
Mm-hmm,
mean, sometimes, like I just said to you, before I said it, you weren't really too conscious of it. You know what I mean? A lot of
mm-hmm,
people just, this is how it is. This is what we do. This is, oh, that's a, whatever type of beat. It's a little Dirk type beat. Okay,
mm-hmm,
but that's kind of what I'm here for, man. I'm here to kind of question things a little more and try. I'm a little upset with a few of the things I see on TikTok.
mm-hmm,
You know what I mean? People people sitting there in the studio doing all this, by themselves in the studio, bopping, going crazy to a beat they just made. Nobody does
mm-hmm.
that.
Right,
That's not real life. Nobody
right,
does that. Be
right.
cool. Sit in your studio, be cool. Show your logo. You know what I mean? Like, just
Yeah.
that weirdo stuff, man, and I'm here to just try to at least speak up on it. At least speak up
Mm-hmm,
on it. Put something else out there in these airwaves, man, about realness and just remember what it's about. You know what I mean? It ain't just about grabbing some followers or doing what he did because
mm-hmm.
it worked for him, man. Do your thing.
How
You
about
know what I
that?
mean?
Yeah, well said, well put. Hey, maybe it's our duty, our due diligence to
Absolutely.
change that. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
just by you saying that, hey, maybe I need to bring some awareness to these producers. Create content with that. You know, that's something you and I can talk about.
The more you put it
And
out there, they just
yeah,
it's just another, "Oh, shit, I didn't even think about that, man. Yeah, you know what?
right,
That is kinda corny. Why am I
yeah,
doing that?"
right,
You know
right,
what I mean? You could
yeah,
impact, you know what I mean? You never know. You really never know.
mm-hmm, absolutely. Because
But
to
sorry
me,
about the
oh no, man, I love this, bro. Because to me, the producer is the one who creates the vibe. You know what I mean? I'm
right.
gonna say this. I'm gonna go on a limb and say this. If it wasn't for the producer, when anybody had the sound they had,
There's
if it
nothing.
if it wasn't for
There's nothing.
Dr. Dre, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
What would NWA have been? You know what I mean?
And it's always music has always been about them, the people you never even saw. They're just geeks in the studio. I mean, you know how many hit records were changed by some dude that you never ever saw before. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm,
that dude turning them knobs
mm-hmm,
made some magic happen. You know,
right.
I've done this, man. I've been in major studios, bro. I'm not gonna go. I've been in major studios. I've made songs with people and stuff. I know the process. I've watched them do 50 takes for one note. You know what I
Mm-hmm,
mean? 50 and every one sounded right. But now,
mm-hmm,
like, and then that call comes later after that dude put in 12 hours work after you left. You know what I mean? Check this out. Oh my
mm-hmm.
God, that sounds amazing.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying, man, like all those hours spent, and those people, they don't ask for nothing, man. Those dudes, they don't want to be on stage, nothing like that. They get a little check, they're good with that, get their money,
Mm-hmm,
they get their name on something,
mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's why I'm just saying, let's not just give it all away. You know what I mean?
Facts. Facts.
Let's leave
Absolutely.
something. for the producer. You know what I mean? Show a little
I
love.
concur. Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess what's your favorite style of hip hop? With that being said, is there any particular style that's like,
My
yeah,
favorite
this
rapper
is
is
my joint?
Cameron. So I'll say that. My favorite rapper is Cameron. I'm not saying he's the, I know there's people that, nicer than him and this and that. That's my style of hip hop.
Mm,
Arrogant, arrogant New York hip hop.
mm,
I mean,
okay.
that's my style. That's my style. I like
Mm-hmm,
Wheezy. I like Wheezy when he's on a mixtape. I like
mm-hmm,
that mixtape Wheezy, like Jay would say. The man blacks out. I mean, I love to hear somebody when Wheezy gets about 30 seconds into a track, you kind of something just changes, and the next thing you know, we just go. And I love that too. I love just hearing a person black out. But for me, give me a Cameron record, man. I'm good. I'm good to
mm.
go.
Yeah, I love Cam, man. I saw an interview. You probably saw this too, where he used to rap deep. You know what I mean? And
Mm,
he was around some females, and they was like, "Cam, no, you need to not dumb it down, but get creatively clever to the
right.
point where people get it." And I think he encapsulate that. I think
Oh yeah,
he's
and then
one of
he
the
went. He
best to
went. He
do
went.
it.
He went far with that. He went. He took it to
Yeah,
his own style for sure with that.
right,
But yeah,
right.
man, I definitely, I'll always shout out Killer Cam, man. He does his thing, bro. Everything. He got that the sports show going on now. Yeah, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying. Always got something popping off. So yeah, shout out Killer Cam for sure.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
oh
man.
yeah. Well,
How about you?
well,
What you listen to, man? I know you're out in Baltimore. What you got going on?
I'm all over the place, man. I'm just a fan of music. I could go one day Gnarls Barkley, because I love
Mm,
CeeLo, man. I think CeeLo is highly underrated. You know what I mean? And then I could
okay.
go to J Electronica. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So I'm kind of kind of all over the place.
Right.
You know,
Remember that first
right
track he
now,
dropped, that Zing Electronic? That first
yes,
track. Oh my god.
yes, yes,
It's almost
yes.
it's almost a shame he came out with such a good song first because you couldn't never live up to that track again. That
Right,
song was
right.
that song was that was epic. That was a beautiful song. I remember that. I haven't heard that in a minute.
Hmm.
I haven't even
Yes.
thought of Jay Electronica in a minute. Now that you said him, and it just made me think about that track.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's funny sometimes when I want to go on that zone, he's one of those guys, man, that I tune into. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And then I
mm-hmm.
can go all the way to a J Cole. Man, I think J Cole,
Yeah,
he's
he's nice.
nasty.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah. But then I go old school with a Rakim.
Mhm.
KRS, of course. So I'm literally all over the place. Because what I want to
Okay.
do is I never want to be dated. I never want to be, it's a lot of rappers that
Right.
has this one cliche sound and style. So I try to
Right.
study everybody, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I can stay on my toes and diversify myself. Because it's
Indeed.
easy to just rap one way. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's something I've been trying to do myself lately. I definitely did tap out for a minute, man. I was over here a little upset with the industry, and the mumble rap was just it
Oh,
was really driving me crazy, and I was tapping out, and then I started to say to myself, "What are you doing, man? You know that just like you're not going to be that dude that's talking about oh the younger kids this and that they don't get it because you already know that's not it. You
mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're going to be right about some aspects of that, but they were saying that about us too.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Right or
Yeah.
wrong.
Right. Right.
So I said to myself, all right, man, if you're doing this, you gotta have to go in
Mm-hmm.
and just start, you know what I mean? And finding out the way because I used to listen to everybody. I used to
Mm-hmm.
buy every album pretty much just
Right.
to make sure I played it in I had the system in my car. So there's a lot of times, big difference playing it there and playing it
Mm-hmm.
for a third or fourth time, especially, when you start getting a little smoke going on and this and that on that
Mm-hmm.
third or fourth time around, you go, "Oh, damn, this album is actually or you might find 3 or 4 tracks on that album. And I used to be that dude that would just look for 2 good songs on an album if I could find it. That made the album good enough for that purchase. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, you all
And
good.
then I just felt like it was time to start doing that again. You know what I mean? I'm not going as deep as I used to, but I mentioned it to you yesterday. You'd be surprised how many people I wasn't up on. Where I knew the songs because they're being played in the radio, but I wouldn't even know who that was. And I said, you know, what are you doing, man? You can't slack off like this. So yeah, definitely been picking back up and following. And I must admit I was wrong. I'll admit I was wrong. It's not all trash right now. You know, everybody, oh, it's all trash. It's never all trash. You know what I mean? So stop that. Go
Right.
find the good. There's good. I mean, there's Benny the Butcher. There's different, you know, there's people out there doing their
Absolutely.
thing. You know, they're out there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
with that said,
What's your thoughts, bro, on AI right now? The AI technology, as far as it is with hip hop music.
it's very scary, man. It's a very scary thing for someone like me, especially because I've invested a good amount of money into this studio. And then next thing you know, they start dropping this AI. So at first, you know, first thought was, you know, it can't. We're humans. We're the artistic ones. It can't ever emulate that. And then next thing you know, we're watching it in very early stages, emulating it pretty well.
Yes.
So it's scary, but I've thought about this, man. I've had to say to myself, okay, because I literally, man, this is just the beginning of what I got going on here. I'm ready to make big investments in this. Large space, big board, you know what I mean? The boards
Right.
alone, they go for about $100,000, you know what I mean? So it's a serious decision to make. And started thinking about like, all right, what is this AI really gonna be? And one thought I came up with is it almost like going to the supermarket. You're gonna have your organic and you're gonna have your cheap price shit. And I think it's gonna literally be human made music, organic, you know what I mean? Where it's gonna have a label on it, literally. Because but is it gonna mean anything?
How about that?
Because
How
people
about
don't
that?
care. People, you know what I'm saying? Me and you, we care. We're gonna be okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna go. But here's at the end of the day, if AI makes some, AI makes the hit of the year, which I'm sure it will. I could almost guarantee you that the number one song year after year will be coming from AI because it's gonna be on some perfect uh whatever you want to call it, algorithm. Like they're gonna start tapping into what makes everybody feel certain ways, and you know what I mean? Like literally with mental waves and feelings. They're gonna go crazy with that stuff, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You really want to think about it. You know what I mean? There's geniuses involved with this. Microsoft is doing this. You know what I mean? Like they don't play games, man. They're going to take it to very real levels, and yes, it's scary, and it's even scarier. The music aspect of it is scary, but man, when you start thinking about the other parts of it, where you know you're hearing about a kid got a phone call from his dad, but it wasn't his dad, saying, "Come out of school,
Yeah.
I'm here to pick you up."
Right. Right.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I mean it's very real, man. But I know we're talking about music, the music aspect of it. I mean, I would literally say it's something that you should sit down. Everybody that makes music should sit down and think on this, man. Think on it deep.
Yeah.
Because if you're investing I mean, if you're just a hobbyist, you're a hobbyist, whatever. You make music for fun. I'm making music for fun, but I'm definitely not no hobbyist. Like
Right.
I'm trying to make a business out of this. This is a
Yeah.
business. I'm LLC here. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. It's definitely an opposite. It's something to keep a close eye on, man. Because I mean, I don't know. What do you think, man? What do you think of AI?
I have similar sentiments. You know, at first, well, how I got introduced to it was I heard this Jay-Z joint,
Yeah,
allegedly. that was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
circling around, and I'm like, oh man, he's spitting like the vintage J. I love it. And come to find out that was AI, and then
Oh, you
turned
thought it was
around.
Jay up front?
I swear, I thought it was Jay. I thought it
See?
was Jay.
See?
Yeah, yeah. And then I heard Biggie on Tupac spitting Tupac's lyrics, and I'm like, oh
I didn't
man,
hear
this
that
ain't.
yet. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, just
yeah. A
Biggie's
diss song
Tupac
at
lyrics.
that. It was the Hit 'em Up.
Oh, so,
I'm like,
okay, so they just had Biggie's voice doing that, though, doing
yeah,
Tupac's lyrics. Okay.
yeah. And
That
if those
but
guys were
when they're
here,
writing lyrics, though, you heard the Eminem one?
no.
There's an Eminem one they got too. Yeah, man, where he's writing Eminem lyrics, like,
Mm,
sounding
yeah,
just I mean, it's all there. I mean, it's a little off, but I mean, this is early stages of this, man.
yeah.
Give
It's
them 3
spooky.
years?
Yeah,
Spooky's
it's
a
it's
good word.
yeah. It's definitely spooky to me. I don't know if you saw the Jay Dilla documentary. I touched on it in
Mhm,
one of my clips, right? But
mhm.
Q-Tip was talking about his genes and how no, it wasn't Q-Tip. I'm lying. It was what's Fresh Prince DJ Jazzy Jeff,
Jazzy Jeff.
and he was just breaking down how his thought process was using the imperfections of things and creating something beautiful. You know what I
Mm,
mean? I feel
mhm.
like man, I don't want to say I'm a bitter old man, but you live long enough, you see things, and you realize the world is ran by ones and zeros. It's all about a dial at the end. They don't care how it affects you, how you feel, and I feel like that's what AI has the potential of doing. They're going to look at it from a monetary standpoint instead of
Right.
a place of creating something amazing.
Absolutely.
So it's all in who hands is in, and of course, the people with the money, that's the hands of the be in. So it's scary to me.
But now check this out, though. So now you got me thinking. So if the industry is losing its power basically as far as well, record labels, but then you have streaming platforms now. Now it's streaming platforms run the game.
Hmm.
So where was I just going? My thought was basically if let's say record labels, right? Let's say record labels were generating AI music and
Hmm.
pumping it out there, but now record labels are dying out. So let's say as AI gets bigger in 3 years, record labels should still be going downward, and more of independently people doing things is going to just keep getting more and more. So now who's putting out the AI? Who's really
Mm.
who's putting it out and distributing it for it to be a hit record? Because the independent
Mm.
artist isn't doing it, or if
Mm.
is he?
Right,
Like I'm just
right,
brainstorming right now, man, because it's who knows where that's gonna go. You know what I mean? Like really, who knows almost what's the purpose of it? Really? I
right.
mean, there's almost no purpose for it.
Hmm.
Does anybody really say I love the fact that there's AI right now with music? No. But
Yeah,
it's not like it's not like you could ever block it and say, okay, well, it's good for this, so we're gonna use it here, but let's not use it for here. That'll never happen.
right, right.
That's
Yeah,
messy. It's very messy, bro. It's very
it
messy.
is. It is. It is. Because at this point, you
I
can
don't even
have.
like talking about it. Now I think I don't
Yeah,
even like
yeah,
thinking about
yeah,
it. But you got to.
yeah. I
There's no
believe,
just
man, it'll get to a point where you can have a 6-year-old kid that's just savvy with technology and can make a hit record. I
hmm
mean, that can happen. You know what I mean?
for sure. That already does happen. I seen them young kids. I mean, they're doing it with the little studios now. Even just talking about what we could do with music, man. I mean, apps like Arcade and this, you know what I mean, and Splice. So when I first started doing this music thing again, I didn't have all this equipment ever before. I had a lot to learn. Went on Splice the first time, downloaded that Splice bridge they got, where the Splice bridge. I don't know, for whoever doesn't know, it'll let you preview anything on Splice in time and in key with whatever's on your DAW. So while you're making a beat, you go on Splice, you got their sample right there. Okay. The first time I saw that splice bridge in action where it changed the key automatically and just was playing with my track, I was like, I remember I told my boy, a producer friend of mine in New York, I said, "Man, this is." I'm not talking shit. I was like, "Yo, bro, I wish I started 5 years ago because this shit now is easy."
Mm.
It's like I couldn't even believe how. I mean, we used to have to manipulate so many things on a sample to make it work, and you might sit there for 2 hours messing with that sample just to not have a clicking sound in it
Hmm.
when you're truncating it and flip. And then next thing you know, you try to blend it with anything else and it just doesn't work. You know what I mean? It
Mm.
just wouldn't work. And you'd have to just say,
Right.
okay, that didn't work.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
now works. It'll
Mm.
just and it's pretty incredible. So I mean, just that alone, that to me almost when I first started messing with that and seeing apps like Arcade, like I don't use Arcade that much. I'll use it just to polish. Oh, okay, I got a song that's almost finished. It could use a little something. I'll go into
Mhm.
Arcade now. Oh, that's perfect. That's a nice little, whatever for it.
Mhm.
But I know there's people that are just going to the keyboard and just pushing buttons down and saying, "Look at this
Right.
beat I made." That's
Right.
AI, basically, in a sense.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just another form of cheater, just, making things simplistic and just taking human aspects out of things, you know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is my go-to question nowadays.
Hmm.
What's on your playlist, bro?
You know what? Honestly, man, so you sent me some questions beforehand. I don't know if you like people knowing that, but you sent me the questions and I did a brief scan of them because I don't wanna really think on things too much because then you start getting stupid, you start overthinking, you start thinking about what you're gonna say, and you don't come across right. So I
Mhm.
just scanned them. This was the one thing that kept sitting in my head. I was going, "What's on my playlist, man?" Because I I jump around, bro. Like I don't have any. I'd have to just say right now, just old shit that was hot is on my playlist,
Mm.
man.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know if you see it on my stories. It goes from Shine to
Mm.
Gangstar to
Right.
KRS-One,
Mm.
and now I'm not talking about playing their albums. I'm talking about the hits. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the hits that just were just that still live on. You know what I mean? That's what's on my playlist these days.
Mm.
Classic tracks because that's what I'm trying to make, man. I'm not trying to make something for here and now. I want to make something that lasts, man. I want something that you could play 20 years from now. It still works. I don't
Mhm.
want to be dated ever with this shit because I think a big problem with people right now.
Mhm.
I'm not down in trap music. Trap is dope. Trap is very dope. You go into a club, that's what you're gonna want to hear right now. You know what I mean? Like that's what's
Mhm.
gonna turn up. And
Right.
I get that. I get that. But here's the thing. As humans, we get bored with
Mhm.
everything. I mean,
Mhm.
just think of relationships. You met a girl. This is everything. How quick have you gotten bored?
Right.
How you know what I mean? There's oh, all I need is that car right there. A week later, you're already looking at somebody else's joint that pulled up next to you. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
We always need more. And
Mhm.
to me, these trap patterns, I think they can't last because I always know what's about to come up. And that
Mm.
doesn't work. That doesn't sit like it doesn't make me want to hear it much longer because I already know that I'm about to hear the gunshot come and then the and
Right.
then I already know exactly what's about to happen.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
too patterned.
Right.
And so with humans, what we do is we get sick of things. And to me, that's one that is going to be extremely dated when you look back and you're going to know exactly what years those were.
Mm.
You're going to be like, oh, that was very 2023 pandemic fucking time. You know what I mean? Like
Right. Right.
where you could play, I'll just say a Wheezy record. There's a lot of Wheezy records that'll just kind of they'll be good 20 years later. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just classic, just making classic music. See, that's the whole thing about hip hop. People,
Mhm.
you say hip hop, people think boom bap. They always think boom bap. No,
Right.
man, no. hip hop went from everything from I'm not a player type of big
Mm-hmm.
pun, type of melodic, all the way to Dwick.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
could go all different direct, and that's hip hop. So there was nothing to get bored of there.
Mm-hmm.
Because it could go, it could be like I said earlier, Public Enemy. That's a whole other form of hip hop.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I mean? So J. Cole is hip hop.
Mm.
You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's modern, but it's hip hop.
Right. Right.
So how do you get sick of that? Because it could be flipped so many different ways. And I know
Facts.
people that make trap are going to say, "No, dude, you can flip trap many different ways too." But it's not as there's not even close. Hip hop
Right.
is almost mathematically like you could go anywhere with it. Where I
Mm-hmm.
feel like trap is very limited. You know what I mean? And I'm sure people are going to find ways to keep it around, but I say it's got a few more years before it's start looking at as dated and looking for the next thing. I made an example recently on my stories. I said I was talking about this and I mentioned Little John. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
because think about how hot Little John was. Think about how
Yes.
hot that whole scene and that loud vibe was. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not that long ago.
Right.
It
Right.
wasn't that long ago. But how do you look at it as very dated right now?
Yes.
Like, if
Yes.
that sound comes on, you're like,
Right.
like, you know
Right.
what I mean? It's like a memory. It's like, yeah, those times.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not you don't wanna hear it no more, though.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I
You're
do.
not gonna play it. It's just gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, those days. Yeah."
Right.
So, I
Right.
don't know. I don't know. I'm going off again on one of my little things, but, yeah, man, I don't know, bro. I got a lot of thoughts on this whole industry, as you see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
man, my playlist just go. I just play whatever tracks I loved. You know what I mean? Grow and there's new things on there, but I'm still searching them out. You know what I mean? Those things that resonated with you for many years that you've heard hundreds and
Mm-hmm.
thousands of times. That's kind of what I'm going back to right now, man.
Right. Timeless
So
music. Yeah.
yes, sir. hmm
So what you got to come? What's down the pipe?
Looch Vegas podcast on deck
Mm,
any day now. Just working out the kinks, just trying to get a real cool flow. You know how it
mm-hmm.
is, man. When you're setting things up. I don't want to be turning my head looking for a button. You know what I mean? I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to do something professional here. So bear with me, folks. Probably give me another couple weeks to a month to just really work out all the kinks here, get everything right. But Looch Vegas podcast coming very soon. We're leveling up over here in the music game.
Mm-hmm.
Just I've been really finding my stride lately and learning a lot of things. Ready to just take the music to another level.
That's what's
And
up.
yeah, just a lot of networking. Any hungry artists out there, if you're hungry, my setup here, man, solo artists, we could do anything here. We could
Mm-hmm.
for real. If you're hungry, you want to work, you're one of those type of people that, even if you're not in Las Vegas, man, you're one of those people that just work all the time, always writing something. You got talent. Hit up your boy. I'm gonna take you in a whole other direction, man. And we'll do things. You know what I'm saying? We'll experiment, try to be
Mm-hmm.
original. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
Because especially if you've been making music for 5 to 10 years and you
Mm-hmm.
haven't hit up your boy. Got to do something a little different. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. What's to come is just keep an eye out, man, because this is all brand new over here. So we're just building, bro. We're building, and keep an eye out for Mr. Galloway because I'm gonna keep popping up over here. Hopefully, I did a good enough job. I was a little nervous. It's
Absolutely.
my first time on air, man. So up front, I was a little off, but I think after we got going here, we found a nice little rhythm.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. No doubt. Speaking of which, it's an excellent segue. For all the people that want to holler at you, even though I'm going to have your info below so they can check you out there. But if you want to shout out your info for anybody that's listening, looking,
Yeah, no doubt. So primarily right now I'm doing my thing on Instagram. And there's actually a reason for that. I feel like Instagram is the place where you're going to find the best hip hop. And so that's why I'm primarily on Instagram. Looch_Vegas, LOOCH_Vegas. I'm on TikTok, same name. I don't really do the Facebook thing, you know, that was family and friends and all that. I'm kind of off that. But BeatStars, just set up the BeatStars account. So basically, for anybody that doesn't know, I've been doing a lot of remixes because my stuff is different. You know, what was happening is I was getting a lot of people coming at me like, I'm not sure if I could rap over your joints. Like, they're different. So now, all right, so you're not sure. Well, how come Lil Wayne sounded great on that joint? You know, so King Von worked on it. You know what I mean? Worked for
Right.
him. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm using. I'm putting these out as examples, and basically, it doesn't. I just drop anybody on the joint, and it works. You know what I mean? So I'm almost using it like, what do you mean? You're just not used to this. That's you know what I mean? So right now, these remixes, I got to take the vocals off so I can start putting all my beats on BeatStars. So I'm in the process of doing that right now, removing vocals, getting everything on BeatStars polished up. So yeah, right now they're not on there, but if you're looking for beats, I'd say give me about a month. You're gonna have about 20 different beats on BeatStars to go through on Looch Vegas. But yeah, man, just keep tapping in. We're gonna keep growing. Looch Vegas on Instagram. That's where you'll find most of my stuff.
That's what's up. And you know, I got your back 110. So you know, whenever you got something, you know I'm that guy. I got you.
Indeed.
You know?
Like
Yeah.
for sure.
Thank you, bro. Any parting words?
Not really. I just want to say thank you for having me. I love the
Pleasure.
show. And hope everybody enjoyed this one. Keep checking it out. I mean, the content on here is great. They keep it very real. You know what I mean? They had a top 30 list. Tupac came in 12th.
How you feel about that?
I was like, you
God.
know, there's a whole coast. I'm out here on that West Coast area. You know, there's a lot of people out here that would not be too happy with that number. But you know what I mean? I understand it, but it was just this is something I like. They keep it real on this show. If he shows up 12, they ain't gonna change it to make nobody happy. You know?
Yes. Man.
Yeah, man. It was a pleasure doing this with you, man. And I look forward to doing more. And I hope people enjoyed the show.
Absolutely. Oh, pleasure's all mine, man. And hey, if you don't get nothing else from anything we said tonight, man, all we're doing is being us. And can't nobody be a better me than me. Can't nobody be a better Looch than Looch. So just do yourself. Be yourself. Until next time, we out.